Hello students, good morning everyone. Today's our topic in science in class 8th, in class 7th is about respiration in humans. Yesterday we will discuss about respiration in plants and respiration in animals. Now in respiration process in humans. Human respiratory system. In human respiratory system, these are the parts which work in our respiration tract. Okay. Now first is about external nostrils. External nostrils are the first part of the respiratory system. First part of the respiratory system. It opens into nasal cavity and is made for inhalation of air. It opens into nasal cavity, and the process of inhalation is take place. Means oxygen is from outside is taken into the external nostrils, means nose. After that, the next part is the nasal cavity, where external nostrils opens and in nasal cavity. This cavity is separated from oral cavity. This cavity is separated from oral cavity by means of a hard and bony plate. It brings about a warming in the nasal cavity. The process of warming, moistening, sterilization of air, etc. takes place. It contains hair. Nasal cavity contains hair and mucus, which entrap the dust particles. Dust particles not enter into our body because nasal cavity contain hairs and dust particles entrap into the hair. After that, third, internal nares. Nasal cavity open into internal nares. Nasal cavity open into nares. Nasal cavity opens into nares, and it leads to pharynx. Further, next part is it leads to pharynx. Pharynx means, which is the next part of our respiratory tract, Grisney. Now in pharynx, it is a common part between both alimentary canal. It is a common part between both alimentary canal and respiratory system. It is a common part between both alimentary canal and respiratory system. Okay. After that, larynx. Larynx is an enlarged part of trachea. It is an enlarged part of trachea, which is also called voice box. Larynx is also called voice box. It produces voice by passage of air between vocal cords. After that, next is trachea. Trachea is also called windpipe. Trachea is also called windpipe. It is all about 10 to 12 centimeter long tube. 10 to 12 centimeter long tube. Its walls are supported by a cartilaginous rings. Its walls are supported by a cartilaginous rings which protect the trachea. After that, next part is bronchi. Trachea is branched into two bronchi, that is left and right. Trachea is further branched into two bronchi, that is left bronchi and right bronchi. Trachea is a narrow tube windpipe which is branched into two bronchi, that is left and right. After that, each bronchi enters into the lungs. Each bronchi enters into the lungs. Next part is our lungs. These are the two lightweight spongy pouches covered by a membrane called pleura. Lungs are covered by a membrane called pleura. Bronchi are further branched into several bronchioles. These bronchi are further branched into several bronchioles. Okay. After that, next is the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a seat of muscles. Diaphragm is a seat of muscles. Diaphragm. What is diaphragm? Diaphragm is a seat of muscles that lie below the lungs. That lie below the lungs. Here diaphragm exists. Okay. This is all about the basic parts of the human respiratory system. In this process, in respiration of this, with the help of an experiment, we can show the process of breathing. And these pictures show the experiments of a breathing process. We have two plastic bottles and their mouths are capped. A Y-shaped tube is fixed into the mouth of the plastic bottle. And now cap the bottle and seal it to make it airtight. And the base of the tube is open, and here we attach a rubber tube. In first case, to understand the expansion of lungs, pull the rubber sheet from the base downward. In this case, we pull the rubber sheet downward. Then the process of breathing starts and the balloons gets entrap the air and their size increases. Means there is a process of inhalation take place. Process of inhalation when we pull the rubber tube downward. In the second case, when we push the rubber tube upward, then the process of exhalation takes place. Process of exhalation means carbon dioxide gas release out and the balloons get size decreases or deflated. Okay, this is the mechanism of breathing. In this process, inhalation and exhalation, there are two processes occur. In inhalation, volume increases, air rushes into the balloons, lungs through trachea and nostrils. And in exhalation process, when air volume reduced, carbon dioxide is pushed out. Carbon dioxide gas is pushed out. This is the mechanism of respiration. In inhalation process, diaphragm moves downward. This is the behave as a diaphragm. Inhalation, diaphragm moves downward, but in exhalation, diaphragm moves in upward direction, moves back. And in inhalation, ribs moves in outside. Ribs moves outside. And in an exhalation process, ribs moves inside. ribs moves inside. Okay. After that, now we will discuss about the mechanism of gaseous exchange. How the gases exchange in the environment. Mechanism of gaseous exchange. When the air enters into the lungs through nostrils, trachea and bronchi, it enters into the bronchioles. When the air from our environment or outside enters into the lungs through nostrils, trachea and bronchi, it enters into the bronchioles. From bronchioles, it moves into the thin-walled alveoli. Alveoli are rich in blood capillaries. Alveoli are rich in blood capillaries. Alveoli are rich in blood capillaries. And the process of at this place, oxygen from air diffuses into the blood. At this place, oxygen from air diffuses into the blood and reaches to all cells and tissues of the body. And reaches to all cells and tissues of the body. All cells and tissues of the body. After that, this oxygen is now diffuses. This oxygen is now diffuses into the cells and utilized for the production of food. Utilized for the production of food and energy. Production of food and energy. This is the process of mechanism of gaseous exchange. Oxygen from outside enters into the blood. After that, it may enter into the cells and tissues of our body. Cells and tissues develops and diffuses. This oxygen is now diffuses. After diffusion, utilization of oxygen takes place and there is a production of energy and oxidation of food takes place. Okay? This is the mechanism about gaseous exchange. After that, control of respiration. Control of respiration process. Respiration is controlled by the respiratory center situated in medulla oblongata of a brain. Respiration process is controlled by the respiratory system. By the respiratory center which is situated in medulla oblongata of a brain. Respiratory center situated into medulla oblongata of a brain. Under normal conditions, rate of breathing is about 12 to 18 times per minute under normal breathing. But during heavy exercise, demand of oxygen increases due to our breathing rate also increases. It is about 20 to 25 times per minute. The total area for gas exchange covered by 300 million MLE is about 36 to 72 meter square. 300 million MLE. Area total covered by 300 million MLE is 36 to 72 meter square in each lung. After that, next is about cellular respiration. This is about the control of respiration. After that, cellular respiration. Cellular respiration refers to the oxidation of food takes place. In this, oxidation of food takes place into the cells, inside the cells. As the name suggests, at cellular level, the process of respiration takes place. So, it is called the cellular respiration, and it takes place in 3 steps. This cellular respiration generally takes place in 3 steps, that is glycolysis, Krebs cycle, Third one is the electron transport system. These 3 are the process of steps of cellular respiration. There is a net gain of ATP molecules during respiration is 38 ATP molecules. ATP means adenosine triphosphate molecules from one glucose molecule. There are total 38 ATP molecules are generated. After that, these steps in first carbohydrates during digestion process is converted into glucose. Carbohydrates first converted into glucose. When glucose is formed, then first step, that is glycolysis process takes place. And in this process, pyruvic acid is formed. After that, this process takes place in 2 steps, that is in presence of oxygen or in absence of oxygen. In presence of oxygen, that is aerobic respiration, and in absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, ethanol, carbon dioxide and 2 ATP molecules are formed. C2H5OH alcohol, generally it is known as ethanol. This is the process of aerobic respiration. And in anaerobic respiration, Krebs cycle occurs. Anaerobic respiration, Krebs cycle takes place. CO2, water and some amount of energy, that is 38 ATP molecules are formed. So these three steps are involved in the process of respiration. Okay. After that, this is all about the respiration in humans. Now your chapter is finished. Thank you.